So it's been a really busy year the last 12 months. We've managed to complete the largest capital programme that we've ever had. Particular notable improvements have been the Western work, so £14 million worth of investment into the tower blocks at Western to completely change the heating and insulation. Tenants are now saving at least 50% on their heating bills, and that's probably a huge change to people's way of life. We've completed our largest estate improvement scheme on Holyrood, which has really transformed that city centre estate, and particularly Greylings in Shirley, where we've done some first dementia specialist housing anywhere within Southampton, and all of the work done at the time that the residents were in place. So, and hundreds and hundreds of kitchens and bathrooms this last 12 months, and we continue to focus on what is important to our residents, and our residents telling us what the improvements that they need. Welfare reform this last year has been one of the biggest challenges that our residents have faced. The changes that are affecting some of our poorest residents have been really quite difficult for those to manage. Residents have seen an introduction in removal of subsidies for spare bedrooms, and have also seen a cap on benefits for the first time, which means that residents can't earn more than £500 a week in benefit for the household size. And we've been working hard to support residents as much as we can through the changes. And thankfully we're not seeing any significant increase in rent arrears or increases in number of evictions this year, which is really rewarding. So residents are finding it hard, but we're working hard to work with them. But what our message would be out to residents who are struggling is, please don't suffer in silence. Come and ask us for advice. We will try and help you to find the best way of managing your money. At the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we had a very unprecedented wet spell in the city. So between the middle of December and the end of February, we had something like an additional 4,000 repairs reported over and above what we'd normally expect within a very short period. So what that has done is effectively meant that we're running with a significant backlog of repairs. On the scale of things, nothing particularly significant, but for residents living with damage to their properties, it's very hard. So we encourage people to be patient, and we're working as hard as we can. We have set up the Damp Reduction Initiative this year, which is working proactively to try and help people who are suffering from damp and condensation in their homes to find ways about managing the situation themselves better so they are not affected. One of the most significant projects we've completed this year has been the investment at Greylings in Regent's Park Road. Working with the residents and with our contractor, we have over the last 12 months completely refurbished the scheme and created 8 flats specifically designed for people suffering with higher levels of dementia. So changed the layout of the properties, made it much easier for those residents to manage. But it's not just the flats, it's the whole scheme itself. So new courtyard gardens, better layout, better colour scheme, improvements to the kitchen, communal areas, and really transform the scheme. We continue to invest also in our Decent Neighbourhoods programme. This is to reflect that it's not just about the homes that people live in, but also the communities where they live that is important.
So why Decent Neighbourhoods? Well, it's all about people's well-being, and there are 5 routes to people's well-being. And that's being connected, being active, being curious, being helpful, and learning new things, being alert to new opportunities to make the space that you inhabit with your neighbours a better place in which to live.
Well, the space we're standing in now, 2 years ago, was a wilderness. It was overgrown, fly-tipped, children couldn't play out here, and now it gets used. Neighbourhood wardens built with a compound and a shed. Families come out in the summertime with disposable barbecues. Hopefully this year we'll build a purpose-built barbecue. People never used to talk to each other, and gates have to be unlocked and locked up for the bin men when they come at the moment. And the whole block got together and did a rota, so people are talking to each other. Bonus.
One of the things that we're particularly looking at this year is how we can continue to develop our very successful apprenticeship scheme. So we already have 19 apprentices within the service. Apprentices are a huge benefit to the service, not only because they give residents the opportunity to get employment within the City Council, but actually by giving residents that opportunity, it brings something back into the local community.
I want to become an employee at Southampton City Council because I have a strong belief in public services, and to be part of that is something I'm quite proud of. I work with a lot of good people. There's a lot of people who teach me things, which is always good, and just a lot of the people I meet on a day-to-day basis are lovely people, so I enjoy that side of it.
We're also looking at creating more energy efficiency projects so that we can improve fuel poverty. But what we particularly want to do this next year is invest in some of the frontline services that residents receive. We know from our customers that not always the service that we provide at the front line is as good as it could be, so we're looking at investing in that further. So in particular in mobile working within our housing operations team, so the tradesmen are able to be more efficient and do more jobs and be more responsive to our customers' needs, but also in frontline housing offices, putting more resources into our housing officer teams, our income officer teams, to make sure that we can be more responsive, get better service to residents, and ensure that we're there to deal with the things that residents tell us are important to them. Equally, we're also investing in our neighbourhood warden service. We want to make sure that the neighbourhood warden service continues to provide the high level of service that it does to residents, and in particular this year we'll be investing in the new cleaning service that we're bringing out across the city, which will improve the condition of the blocks, which I know our tenant inspectors in particular have highlighted as an area that they're looking for us to improve. So more challenges, more investment, but also improvements to services, and I hope residents will start to see a real difference on the ground. So in the end, housing is all about the people. It's not just about the properties where people live, but it's more about how those properties give people a safe and secure home and a good start in life. We're particularly interested in making sure that every pound of rent money that is paid to the council is spent as wisely as we possibly can. So our focus on value for money is not just about spending money efficiently, but also spending it in the right areas. We want to use the opportunity that we have in the city with the money that we spend on improving people's homes and the services that we provide to generate employment and opportunities for the local community to get more involved. So we're investing more in apprentices, and we'll be making sure that our contractors and our suppliers are continuing to invest in local labour locally in the city to make sure that the money that we spend has the best benefit for the Southampton